So I am so excited to have Lauren Madewell from Auntie Bellum's Cabin Rentals here with me today. And I have to say, I just mentioned this to Lauren. I said, I am really late onto the Lauren Madewell bandwagon because I hear nothing but Lauren Madewell in podcasts, in articles, on LinkedIn posts. You're really making a huge mark. And I am glad I'm so honored that you've taken the time to come and spend some time with me today, Lauren. Thank you and welcome.
Oh my gosh, please. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here talking to you, getting to meet you finally.
Well, you are the new face of property management. At least that's what I'm seeing. And it's what a lot of people are saying. And we're at this point, aren't we, where there seem to be these two camps. There's the traditional property managers, and then there's what somebody termed the Nurus, the new people coming on board that don't think they need to know anything about what's happened before. And then there's you.
Yeah.
And you seem to be straddling that. You come into the business with huge amounts of enthusiasm and motivation, but also knowledge that you've gained from your past, from family, and because the business has been around for a long time. So that's what we want to explore today. You're bringing fun back into this business, and we're going to be hearing about it. So tell us how you got into it. Because I read that you were doing air traffic control at one point. You trained to be an air traffic controller. How the heck did you get from there to here?
Yeah. So my gut is to say it was easy, but like when I look back on everything, it's just easy to see that there were so many different forces and factors in my life propelling that decision at kind of like a rapid pace. So, I mean, really like my high school years and my college years, they were just on autopilot. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was playing sports. I was making good grade. I was just truly on autopilot. And I grew up just south of Atlanta, which is a very busy airport and airspace. And so a lot of the kids I went to school with, their parents were controllers. It takes a certain like personality type. And because I was an athlete, everybody knew me. They saw that personality type in me, and they, directed me to do that. And I liked it because it was specific. It wasn't vague. It was going to be a government job, and the pay was just going to be incredible, and the retirement was going to come quickly. So like, okay, they're telling me I'm going to be great at this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And so I pursued it. There was a college in Georgia. I lucked up. It wasn't too far from home, just a few hours. So yeah, graduated my degree in air traffic controlling, but like pretty much simultaneous to graduating, my dad had inherited the business, Auntie Bellum's Cabin Rentals, from a cousin only 2 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
Simultaneous to my graduating, he moved to Tennessee full time to take over the family business. He fell in love with it. He left his old job to do that 100% of the time. And so I was graduating with a degree I was just not interested in at all. Like I knew I'm just smart and I got my degree, but I probably should not have been a controller. So I was like dealing with that. My dad had just moved to Tennessee. The mountains were beautiful. I was very interested in being with him. I'd always been interested in the business ever since his cousin owned it. And then I was heartbroken, and I had just come out of the closet. So I was looking to start new, start fresh, and the opportunity to leave everything behind and move to these mountains and work with my dad at a company that, was well established, and he just wanted to make it better, was just like irresistible. And so I did it without looking back. No regrets at all. And a couple years in, I took a year off with his blessing to spread my wings. Is this what I want to do? Do I want to do something else? I call it my sabbatical. And after a year, it was just a no-brainer. I was like, I love the job. I love the people. I love the mountains. I want to bury my bones here in Tennessee and work the rest of my life doing vacation rentals. It was truly like one morning I woke up and I'm like, what am I doing? Texted my dad, will you have me back? And I've just been full force ahead ever since.
That is a fabulous story. I love it. I love it. I always love to hear people that are following their passion, doing what they absolutely love to do. I'm guessing you don't get up on a Monday morning and hope that it's going to be Friday soon.
Yeah, not like everybody else. I have had my weeks, please. I have had my weeks. They have been more than you would think, but I no, I look forward to coming to work most days. Absolutely. Even when I'm in a grumpy mood, it's not because I've got to go to work, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about Auntie Bellum's itself. It's been going for how long? How long was it before your dad inherited it?
So he inherited it in 2009. So he's had it for um, 14 years now. And it's a 29-year-old family owned and operated business.
Wow.
It started off as just a little Auntie Bellum's general store. It was so cute. Like I have I can experience it when I close my eyes and think of it. The smells, the toys, the candies, all the stuff they had there, the cute little cabin that it was in, and then that was her family, my dad's cousin's family, Shannon Hercut, and then she got her real estate license and she was doing realty, and so being in that area, realty almost immediately became cabin rentals, and then she bought out her family and then turned it into cabin rentals. And then in 2009, yeah, that's when she passed away and left it to my dad in the will.
Wow. So what makes it sounds like it's a really different company. There are so many companies in your area. I mean,
Yes.
it's hugely competitive.
Yes.
What stands it out? What makes it different?
I have to say, like, our people, hands down. It's our people. Like, when you ask that, I just see the faces of my employees. It's our people because we really nurture the environment of everybody caring for each other, like, first and foremost. Like, learn how to care about each other professionally. We encourage personally, rely on each other, work together to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses so that we can play to those and we all accomplish the job together, and not only together, but because of the environment we're nurturing, get the job done with class and get the job done with respect. When you're all doing that together, it makes the job easier, it makes it more instinctual, and your homeowners are directly benefiting from that. And when your employees are happy and your homeowners are happy and cared for, your guests directly benefit from that. And so it's our employees. And we really are trying to hire for like the long term. Like, a lot of our employees have been with us for 20 years. A few more have been with us for like 15 plus, and then several more, like 3, 4, 5. We're giving them a place to settle down. They full benefits, uh, health insurance, dental insurance, simple IRAs. We match up to 3%. Like, we're helping to build their future here, so that they feel that comfort, that confidence, that respect, that appreciation, and they want to stay. They want to go in, and of course, the more time they're there, the better they get at the jobs, and then again, your homeowners and your guests benefit from it. So, sometimes you have to weed out people to create the best teams. And it's always been the people. Even when it's not a good hire, you learn so much from that to bring in the right person.
Your passion for your people is so clear. And I love the way that you talk about it, that's where it stems from. I'm thinking, when I'm asking you the question about what makes it unique, I'm thinking about your guests, and then you come straight in and start talking about your people, and that's where it starts from. And that is a terrific take on it. And I love it. In my company, we got our first employee in about 2008, I think, and she's still there.
Awesome.
Sold the company 18 months ago, and she's still there.
Yes.
And every other employee that we took on, they're still there too.
I love to hear that.
The only one that isn't is my virtual assistant in the Philippines, who was there for 9 years.
Whoa.
And she's now back with me.
She's with you? Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
So we poached her back.
I love it.
So yes, I so agree that people are everything. And if you have somebody in a role they're not interested in that role, or they're just seeing it as a means to an end, and that end is not relevant to the business, then it's not going to be a right match. I learned a lot about this before I spoke to you. I say I learned a lot because you just have, like all of us, just have 1 or 2 pages in the book Vacation Rental Secrets that was produced by Brooke Fouts from Vintori. Yes, if you're watching on YouTube, there we are. I will put a link in the description so that you can go get your copy. But we have it was when I read your top 10 mistakes, and, you know, 3 of them were focusing really on your culture and on your people. And I thought that was so good. So I have to talk about that a little bit more since we're on that topic. You said not getting an espresso machine for the office sooner. Enough said. I'm guessing, that's you, or is that because you need to pick everybody's motivation up first thing in the morning?
All of the above. It's helped curb the Red Bull intake, and I do care about their health. It's helped curb Red Bull intake. I have genuinely enjoyed helping I love coffee, like one of my true joys in life. I have loved helping my coworkers and employees evolve their taste for decent coffee. You no longer see like vanilla Dunkin' Donuts anymore. Like we're bringing in better coffee, sometimes beans. So like, and so, and I don't know, it's just, I love coffee. I wanted to share good coffee with the office, get their juices flowing. My dad, who swears he doesn't like coffee, loves espresso. Tell me how that works. That makes just no sense. It's like the coffeeest coffee there is, espresso. I don't know. It just as a pick me up, it was fun, and it's just a gesture,
And while we're on that topic, we've got to just cover off the live plants and the office hamster as well. We always had a dog in our office. There was always a golden retriever under the desk. I now have a German Shepherd under my desk. So,
what's your German Shepherd's name?
Britta.
Pretty.
She came from Egypt. She was a rescue from Cairo, a rooftop in Cairo, in fact, which is where she was found. And she made her way to Canada and into our hearts. So how
interesting.
So how did your hamster find his way to you?
Well, the first hamster, because we're on our second right now.
Yeah, they don't last very long, do they?
About something out about 3 years. So Gerald, our current hamster, we have almost mourned his loss many a times, but that sucker's still going. But the first one was Annie, just like a play off of. So many of us don't enunciate the T in antebellums, it's antebellums, and so we just called her Annie. But she, one of my maintenance men, Dan, he discovered her in a cabin and brought her back. And we called like the past 3 guests and left voicemails, and nobody called back for her. So some dad was just like, I don't know where that thing went, and I'm not telling my family that they ever called about this. And so one of our maintenance guys, Kyle, fell in love with it because we were taking care of it. We didn't exactly know what to do about it. He fell in love with it. He offered to take it home. And when he offered to take it home, the rest of the office piped up and they were like, but we love this thing. So that exact day, we just sent somebody to the pet store with the company credit card and said, get a hamster complex, get some treats, get everything they need, and one of those balls so that it can roll around the room and under our desk and trip us and stuff. And so that was Annie. She passed away, I think, 2 summers ago. And then within a couple of days, we went and got Gerald because we couldn't stand not having a little furry creature running around. And we like the midget hamsters, like the Russian or the Russian dwarf hamsters, and because they're tiny. Their poops are tiny. They're kind of non-invasive, and it's just so much fun seeing that little thing, that ball roll around the office. Our guests get tickled by it when they see it. The homeowners get tickled by it. Vendors will come in and ask to see it. One of our homeowners stopped by with her kids at the beginning of the summer, and then proceeded to give their kids like the best summer of their lives. And the other week at school, when the kid got up in front of class to say what his favorite part of the summer was, he was like, that one time I was at an office and I played with a hamster. That was his favorite part of the summer. So it's just like everybody loves it. And I've told this story too, that once upon a time, we genuinely considered getting a punching bag, which is just so trashy to say, but to go get our frustrations out, but having that hamster instead of a punching bag to just like love on and kiss is a much more positive substitute.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you said in your piece in the book, plants and a hamster have made us a better hospitality company. And I think you probably really said it all, because again, it's that knock on, is it, through your staff being
Well,
happier and having something to cuddle on rather than something to punch.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, what do you have at home? Plants, animals, and your favorite coffee. Right.
Okay, so you keep your staff happy. That's fantastic. I want to move on to your guests. How do you keep your guests excited? One of the things that really bothers me, Lauren, and I've experienced it in the last 5 trips I've been to vacation rentals,
Mhm,
and every single one of them has happily taken my money and sent me a confirmation, and then nothing.
mhm.
Absolutely nothing
Yep.
until the day I arrive, or maybe the day before when I get
Yeah.
the key.
And then
What do you?
I was gonna say the
It's
whole week up, you're like questioning, did I actually book that place?
exactly, and the last 5 times I have done that, I've got in touch with them and I said, "Hey, it's me. I'm
Yep.
coming to stay at your place. I'm quite sure I've got this booking because I paid for it and I've got your confirmation of the booking, but I haven't heard from you since. Can you just confirm that I'm coming?" I should never have to do that, but if I'm doing it 5 times in 5 consecutive bookings, and this is in the US, it's in England, it's in Europe, this is happening to a gazillion other people. What do you do between the booking and the stay?
Yeah. Yep. We do quite a bit, and it's all through text messaging, basically.
Mhm.
Texting is the way. And I think the reason a lot of companies do this is because we know that people's like inboxes are flooded. Text anymore you can get advertised through a text message. People hate phone calls, so they just kind of keep it as a minimum. Hey, we did our due diligence. We sent you the confirmation letter. That's on you. Like, hey, it takes two to tango. But but we there's a balance. You can overwhelm them, and we certainly don't want to. Every once in a while, you'll text a guest a standard follow up, and you'll just get f off, and you just send them a thumbs up. Okay, no, you're good. We don't have to talk to you anymore. Put it in the notes. But it's so after booking, they get the email, of course, and the email has a link in it, and it tells them several things. It's nice, crisp, clean, very simple confirmation letter, all the information, but it also has the link like to our link tree and to their to check out their free Explorer tickets. So that's there for them to kind of expand on and get their imagination going, and maybe they will want to refer to that email at some point because it's more than just a confirmation
Mhm.
letter. But then we also send them a text message immediately, and it's just like, hey, thanks so much for booking. If you have any questions about, and it's like mountain roads, pet friendly, Wi-Fi, or something else, like just let us know right away. So we've slid into their text messages, just not just to say thank you, but to be like, let us know if we can help you immediately. And we've passed off some responsibility, documented responsibility of like, now that's on you to ask if the roads are good and if the Wi-Fi is good, and it kind of puts something in our pocket. But then we if when they give us their email address, which they have to, they're signed up to our email drip campaign. So they'll get those. And I think our emails are pretty good. They're not overwhelming. That's standard. But about a week before is when we send them another text and we say 1 week to your vacation to get you excited. And there's our link tree link, and it has all sorts of stuff there to not only help them plan, but funny videos to watch. Smoky Mountain road trip playlist on Spotify, like biscuits and gravy recipe, stuff like that to get them pumped up. And like, just again, let us know if we can help you with anything. And then we send them a text message a day before. I can't exactly remember what is in our text message day before, but it's like, hey, check-in is tomorrow. Just a reminder. So get your ducks in a row in this way. And then on check-in day, we're sending them a video, and it's me, and it's just like, yeah, check-in days today, woo! And I'm up at a cabin, and I'm like, listen, hard as we try to make everything perfect for you, like it's not possible, but we are here. We're in town. Give us a call. We want your vacation to be perfect. We'll come fix it for you. No use in dealing with it when we're here to fix it for you. And so I'm also like establishing a face.
Mhm.
Our logo's right there. I'm smiling. I'm getting them excited. I'm in a cabin, so it's relatable. And I'm saying, I'm proactive in saying, like, we do try to be perfect, but we're not. And again, kind of passing off that responsibility of like, I want to make it perfect, but that's on you to help me make it
Mhm.
perfect if there's something we can't predict. And so it gets people excited and then feeling a little bit more in control. And it helps them to understand that we are here. We're not like so many companies nowadays or Airbnb where you just don't know where your hosts are. We are here. And then, and so that's the process getting them here. And then a day after check-in, we text them, hey, is everything going good? But we're here for you. And largely everything goes good. But again, it's getting out ahead of them again, being like, we really are here. Like, let us help you. Again, putting the responsibility back in their hands to let us know. The day before checkout, we send them another video. This is like one of the first ones I ever made. I'm in a bear suit, and I'm like, whoa, it's been a busy day being a bear. I'm worn out. I'm sure you guys are worn out from all the fun you're having. But just a reminder, tomorrow is checkout. And then when I made this video, Airbnb was being drugged through the coals for having these atrocious checkout lists. So I wanted to literally act out the checkout list to show them it's just a checkout list. It's not a cleaning list. It's not a to-do list. It's like close the blinds, close the hot tub, put the thermostat on this temperature. And then I explain, like, we're only asking you to put the dishes in the dishwasher so it's not stinky and attract pests. And if you had a good check-in and if you had an early check-in, it's because the people who checked out did this list. So I'm like educating them, getting out in front of them, because so many people will be like, I didn't know I checked out today. So proactive with that again. And just it really is an education and giving them the responsibility, saying we did our due diligence, but I'm able to have fun with it so
Mhm.
that it like is our brand at the same time. It's absolutely what people will remember. And the feedback on it has just been awesome because it's been a part of their check-in and checkout experience.
I love it. I love the idea of videos. Something you did say almost as a throwaway, you talked about an email drip campaign.
Yeah.
So could you just tell us what that consists of? And, do you segment? Do you have different things you send to different people, or is it just one general drip?
To be totally honest with you, we have an incredible marketing company that we work with, and I leave that brilliance and science up to them. They send me their email. They say, "Will you check off on this?" And this is the day and time that we'd send it out to make sure I'm okay with it. And that's just to be like, maybe they're talking about our cabins, and one of the picture is a cabin that's going to be offboarded in a month.
Mhm.
Remove that picture. Or I might see them, it's a blog post and I think it might be more cohesive in this order and I suggest that order, so we go back and forth to perfect it. But as far as like the science of it, I don't know a darn thing.
But you are going through this drip campaign of
oh
messages.
and our email campaigns are incredibly profitable. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, email is big.
Fantastic. I'm definitely I've got to come and experience this sometime. Okay, so you got happy guests. You got happy guests. Love the video ideas.
Thank
Uh,
you.
that if those people who are listening, video is not difficult, right?
No, I mean, it's Mallory and I mean, we have a knack for it. We have we vibe very well together, and we've got our employees on board for chipping in on stuff. So like, I think we have something unique in that sense of like bringing everybody into the video making process. But no, it's so easy. Y'all know how to make a video. Come on, you post things to your reels and Snapchats all the time. Y'all know how to make a video. It could be anything. That's what I've learned. Like, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be any sales pitch at all. I think we always try to cleverly make one, but we are not opposed to nonsense and just throwing our logo on at the end.
I love it, and I've seen some of your videos.
Yeah.
They're just really, really amazing. So
Every time you think, oh man, this one might be too weird, well, it turns out to be the best, the best
yeah.
response yet. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Let's move on to owners. I know from 20 years of doing this that, owners are the lifeblood. If we don't have the owners, the good owners of the good properties,
Yes.
then things can go south very, very quickly. Tell me about your owner acquisition process. It's something that came up in Vacation Rental Secrets several times.
Mhm.
It certainly came up from me, not being intentional enough about
Yeah.
the types of owners we took on. You mentioned something about commission.
Mhm.
You're not interested in that race to the bottom on commission,
Mhm.
and that was something that I heard of from owners who were saying, well, we've had two other companies around, and they're 1 or 2 points below you on commission. What can you do?
Mhm.
And we would say, well, nothing. Suggest you go with them
Yeah.
if that's of interest to them.
Mhm.
So what's your take on it?
Right now, at this point in time, in this cycle, because this is just a part of the cycle, enlightening the owners on the nuances of you get what you pay for has had an incredibly positive effect for us. We are growing at a pace that I'm very happy with, and it's 100% organic. We don't have any homeowner campaigns going on right now. Everything is happening as a result of Google reviews, word of mouth, through homeowners, through guests, through real estate agents who see that our cabins are clearly in better condition than the
Mhm.
majority of our competitors, which makes us an easy recommendation. From vendors in town that we work with and nurture really good relationships with and we treat them with just as much respect as our own payroll employees. My community involvement and me getting close with the people at the chamber. When you become friends with people at the chamber, like, when people are asking for advice on cabin rental companies, like, it's easy for them to suggest us. It's all just word of mouth and doubling down on our high standards over the year. So, like, end of 2020, the cycle that we're now in and how it'll play out, like, completely predictable just because of the inflation of real estate
Mhm.
prices. Okay. And then we took 2021 to really, like, be open-minded in questioning our commission, our systems, our processes, our standards, our competitors' systems, processes, commissions, and standards, to really experience what these new homeowners are like. We took 2021 to essentially read the future. And
Mhm.
2021 was brutal. We didn't have our footing yet, but we were actively establishing it and learning red flags and green flags, and so we took 2021 to read the future. But by the end of 2021, we still hadn't compromised on our commissions, and now we were confident we weren't going to, and it wasn't worth it. We were confident that with our 30%, that's what we are. We were confident with that 30%, we could run a highly successful property management company, never compromise on our brand, have everybody taken care of, homeowner, employees, property. And so we were firm with that. And at the end of 2021, we perfected, and I still, like, it evolves. I still change it, but we essentially perfected our documents, our
Mhm.
messaging, our branding. We knew the portfolio we wanted. We knew the property type and the homeowner type that we wanted. We had it established with information that we would give externally, and that we kept internally. We knew who we needed to be, and we doubled down on it through 2022. And uh, right on time, maintaining our commission and all the standards we pack into that, and the partnership allows us to have with our homeowners, maintaining that has come full circle, and now people are actively pursuing us for that
Mhm.
program that we built. And so, like I said, growing organically at a pace that we're just pleased with, because we saw it. And you question yourself all the time for your predictions, but we saw it, we were right, it's happening right on time, and we're getting the homeowners we want and deserve.
Mhm. That's so interesting, because I think so many property managers go through this process of, you start out with anyone and everything, just come on in.
Yeah,
I don't care. You're going to bring me money.
it's what all of our
And
competitors were doing, and we are like, are we fools? Are we fools right now for not doing this? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it took us a long time
yeah,
to to change the way we did things, and to say, okay, we're in the driving seat. We are in the driving seat
yeah.
here. We tell you what's going to happen, how we're going to manage it. We don't compromise on contracts, and we don't make little changes in the contracts because you'd like us to. Other companies will do that, so we don't compromise. I love that. I love that approach. It certainly was one that worked for us. Okay, you mentioned community involvement, and I'm hearing that more and more from people. You mentioned the chamber. My friend Tyann Marsink talks about this, going way back at her start off with Branson Family Retreats, that she just joined the chamber and she became a driving force in the chamber. And she says exactly what you did. So she knew everybody in the chamber office and in the tourism department and in the tourism office that was open to the public. So if somebody came in looking for something, they're not going to send people to, well, they might just send people to the rack, but they're going to start out with the people they know. So you just mentioned that was working for you, and I'd like to sort of step back a bit and say, how did that start, and how is it being maintained?
I had the light bulb moment at one of Matt Landau's Keystone retreats last summer. Of like, they were asking, what's your next great leap? Like, what do you want it to be? And I knew my next great leap was community involvement for a few reasons, but I felt like I had really helped to build something beautiful with my company, and it built on itself, and it took care of itself. My people were taking care of each other. They got it. They get it. They're with me. I felt like I could step away from the office a little bit more and start spending time in my community. So that was my light bulb moment, that I was ready to make that leap. And like, it needed to be one of the first things on my to-do list when I left that retreat and went back home, was like, just get out in the community, do something, just get my name out there. The motivation for that is just, as a vacation rental company, short-term rental company, it is easy to be seen as a problem to the community. And it's easy to feel like a problem to the community, because we're essentially opening the floodgates to all these strangers coming into our town, which, I mean, big hospitality, tourism, that is the industry here. Without it, there's nothing over here, right? But 2020, 2021, 2022, the amount of just homes being turned into vacation rentals, the amount of land being flattened to build more vacation rentals. Our market is oversaturated. Short-term rentals grew by 20%, over 20% in like a single year. Like, it's easy to be seen as, and to feel like the enemy of a community that, when you're off the main roads and you're on the back roads, is small town. The actual, we don't have very many citizens. It's just like a few thousand, and it's small town, and it's Southern, and they truly do value Southern hospitality. And there's a lot of history here, be it starting in the 1800s with like the first settlers to the Cherokee, our ancient history here. We have so much history here on this beautiful land that has the most flora. These mountains have the most flora of anywhere else in the world. We have just a beautiful, incredible, extensive spectrum of fauna over here. I mean, like, the land is beautiful. The land is a blessing. The history we have is a blessing. Like, I want to protect my community, and I can only do that through getting to know it intimately and understanding how my position can benefit my community. And so after that retreat, I just started, anybody I knew, I just let my intentions be known. Like, hey, I'm interested in involvement, be it like an association, an alliance, the chamber. Like, I'm interested in involvement. And it didn't take long at all for somebody to be like, oh, well, the Pigeon Forge Chamber of Commerce does like an ambassador program. And so we just got connected. I took on this ambassador program at the beginning of this year. I work on behalf of the Pigeon Forge. I volunteer on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. And then I have like 20 something member businesses that I have to visit quarterly. And so it taught me how to just walk into a business on a weekday and talk. And so I did that on behalf of the chamber. I wanted to start doing that on behalf of me and Antebellums and our people and what we wanted to do personally. And so now my community involvement also looks like, I just did this on Wednesday. I just went into the Glades Arts and Crafts District over here and just started visiting people I know and introducing myself to new businesses, telling them, Ani Bellum's Cabin Rentals. Now, when I go in and I get a good vibe, I'm like, hey, I'm in a position to send people your way. Would you be interested in giving my guests a discount? And then I just plug myself in. I plug my guests in. Everybody benefits. And then this Glades Arts and Crafts District, this is the essence of the Smoky Mountains. Like, we are a tourism destination because loggers would come to this area to log, and they fell in love with everybody who lived here. Basically, short-term rentals 100 something years ago, like, you'd have to rent out a room in somebody's cabin in somebody's home, and they'd see that, like, you made everything that you had, and they saw it as novel, and they would buy it off of them and take it home. And then the locals were like, people are willing to buy this. And then so the next time the loggers came back, the road that took them into the mountains, they had they were set up with baskets and pottery and jams and quilts. And so we grew, people wanted more of that, to see the mountains and to buy this stuff. It quickly became a tourism destination. And now that all that arts and crafts is like in what's called the Glades Arts and Crafts community. It doesn't really know how to advertise itself well, and it's very traditional. There's a lot of old blood running the Glades Arts and Crafts, so there's some pushback on modernizing in the way that it does advertise itself, because it doesn't want to be overrun. The whole vibe monetized, essentially. The vibe is because they are. And so it's just this beautiful Glades Arts and Crafts area that I want generations to return to. I want people to get a kick out of. I want them to get away from the commercialism. I love the commercialism. It helps me, but I want them to get away from that and experience the community, because if they're experiencing the community, they'll want to protect the community. And so I'm using my position, my guest, little discounts and specials in these communities, in these pockets with these businesses that I feel like are the Smoky Mountains. And again, everybody benefits. And so, like, that's my grassroots community involvement, is just walking,
I love it,
boots through a front door. Yeah.
I love that. I know the area, sort of the old Walland Highway, that area. There's so many of these little stores going down there, between Walland and Townsend, and just
beautiful.
Just love it. Yes. And you walk in there and you just, this is how it used to be.
Yeah, right. It feels very old school.
We've sort of touched on some of the things that you use. You use clearly a digital marketing company because they're doing your email campaigns. You mentioned Explory. What else? What's in your tech stack? Because you have mentioned in the past that you just have a very small tech stack.
Yes, incredibly. It's still just our property management software, Brightside, because they do just about everything. I mean, we use QuickBooks for our trust accounting, which we actually like keeping separate from our property management software because it makes us more agile should anything happen. And then our texting platform. And then, I use a link tree just to have our TikTok and YouTube and Explory stuff and discounts all in one place. But that's it. Instagram, I have access to Instagram. I love our TikTok is like my favorite thing to do, but is that considered part of the tech stack? I don't know. Brightside, it's a texting platform. And
so does Brightside cover your operations management as well?
Oh yeah. It's reservations. It builds out our integrations with like Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com. Should we want to work with them? Anybody, it builds out all those integrations. It is our work orders, our key data dashboard, it's marketing reports, it is accounting reports, it's homeowner statements. It's everything. It leaves us wanting for nothing. And
perfect.
If I have an idea of like, hey, right, I would love to do this for Ani Bellum's. This isn't a fix what's broken sort of thing. Like I would love this, but right now I'd have to incorporate in like another company or take on this whole task myself. Like, is this something that y'all could do and build out? And sometimes they can like this, and sometimes they take a year or so, but they just are receptive. And if they think, if one property management company can benefit from it, all can, they'll, they expedite it. And again, they just leave us wanting for nothing. And they are working on getting text messages directly through Brightside, which would be great because it could directly link our reservations to our
Mhm.
texting and not have it in two different places. They are working on that, but I'm not in a rush to fix what's broken, but they're trying to be everything. They always continue to impress.
I love the fact you mentioned that ignoring free demo offers would have been was a mistake. Clearly, you like to do the demos.
It's a way to get to know people. You're going to see those
Yeah.
people at conferences. It's a way to get to know people. There's a very high likelihood we've come across each other on LinkedIn in some way, shape, or form, or somebody I know knows them. So yeah, it helps me to network. That's community involvement in a sense. And then I just learn what's out there, what my options are. Do I need something that I didn't know I needed, or are we doing things exactly as we should be? It just offers a tremendous amount of perspective. And sometimes I don't love them. No, but I like to get to know people and learn people. And many a times I'm just like, hey, you know what? Not in the headspace for this meeting later today. Are you okay to reschedule? Because I'm always upfront saying like, I don't need this product, but if you are interested in sharing your time, I'd like to get to know you
Yeah.
and it. Yeah.
I like that. I like that approach. I really do. And it's a good segue, actually, into last question, which is about conferences and networking, because this is where it all started for you, really,
Yeah.
in terms of getting to know people in this industry. Just backtrack a bit to the Vacation Rental Women's Summit in 2021.
Okay. So I would say I was like asleep at this point in time. Like not really asleep. I was in the trenches. I had my head down. I was in the sauce. I was this was 2021. So again, I was like we were doing our best to try and figure out what's going on with this industry, with our market, with the cycle. We were trying to read the future in 2021. So like I was in it. And for that reason, I was like, I need to plug in and get involved with these conferences. I knew enough people at this point who were going to the conferences, and I'd been to a Verma and I'd been to a Res Fest, which I really enjoyed. But I was looking for what conference to do beyond just Verma in 2021, which we finally were able to do stuff again, after the quarantine. And so, I mean, Vacation Rental Women's Summit, it's like, it's everything I love. It's vacation rentals, female empowerment, like I knew of Amy Hinote. She'd come to Gatlinburg and done like VRM Intel before, VRM Intel Live. And she was very well respected. And I think I knew somebody who like had been before and they were like, this is epic. These are actually really awesome. And so, I mean, it was just like, duh. And I told my dad, I was like, this is what I'm doing. My dad's the owner of Andy Bellum's Cabin Rentals. And because I'd never really like asked for much investment in me before, in my growth before. I was trying to grow everybody else. So I told him what I would be doing, that this was for my growth. And anyway, I went. It was just me. My sister wasn't in the business yet. And my dad wasn't very interested in a women's summit. I don't know why. And so it was just me. And Amber Hurdle was doing the keynote. And I had actually seen her before because I think Amy had hired her in Velvet Machete to do something with the VRM Intel that was in Gatlinburg, if my memory serves me correctly. So I was like, oh, I kind of recognized her, which got me a little excited. And I was chatting with the people at my table, but Amber Hurdle's keynote was just out of this world. And she was just painting the picture of like, men find it so easy to take chances and take risks. They always seem to have like 100% confidence in themselves. And then even when they fail, it's so easy for them to clean it off and move on, whereas women we're calculated. We think about things. We like to be very intentional before we do things. And there are strengths and weaknesses in that. But where we do, it is easy to find weaknesses with women so often is that like, we're not inherently on each other's team and supporting each other. And in fact, we can get very, very catty and very competitive. And you combine that with, our lack of confidence going forward, sometimes it can be a recipe for disaster. So she got out in front of that to just be like, you've got to destroy that norm. Like, we're all here together, women, of our industry, you will never experience a safer environment. You will never like it'll be hard to experience a more empowering environment. So like we're all here doing the same thing with the same intentions, like show love to each other, social support to each other, get each other hyped up because this industry is better when the women are better together. Like, oh, she just nailed it. And then she ended on something, I can't remember the line, and then a gospel choir busts through the door to start singing.
Yes.
So it just turned it into like this next level experience. You know, we're champagne brunch. It's gorgeous. I mean, Amy just doing it up, making us feel like pure royalty. And so it just got it started on the most epic note. We were all equally, collectively excited and ready to support each other and just chit chat and talk and like no boundaries. And that was the feeling from the whole thing. And Explorer had invited me to be on a panel. I'd never been on a panel before. They invited me to be on a panel about guest experience. And I was with Sarah Bradford, Alex Husner, and a couple others I'm forgetting right now. And I had met Alex before, but suffice it to say, it was a good crowd to be sharing a stage with. And as nervous as I was, it kind of came natural to talk in front of people and to share my experience and to riff off of the people you were with. So then I got a taste for talking to the people and sharing my experience, and I really liked it. And so people were coming up to me just to ask questions about the guest experience or to say, I like that you did this, I like that you did that. And I started establishing connections, getting phone numbers, and it just like changed the way I thought about how to do my day to day. And people, a big one was like, hey, are you on LinkedIn? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they were like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Get on LinkedIn. And of course, then that was Pandora's box. You know, so I had connections from the Women's Summit. Those connections were helping me make more connections. The algorithms were at work, and I just started just getting to know people. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, people are just as lovely. Like they love to love. They're passionate. If we've got great senses of humor, we like to have a good time, eat and drink and be together. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go 200% into this. And and then there was something else. I give Amber Hurdle a hard time for this. I went to one of her speeches, and that was the real game changer for me and how I think about myself and what I'm capable of. Because she said something like, you know, if you just something about taking things to the next level or really improving yourself, you can't do it with your same old Ford engine. Like you need a Ferrari engine. And I've told her this many times before. I thought that was like one of the tackiest things I'd ever heard. It rubbed me the wrong way instantly, but I never forgot it. And within about a month, I was like, okay, but hold on. I can put a Ferrari engine in my Ford body, my Ford truck body, and then I can be who I want to be. So like, you know, I wear the hat. I stay pretty casual. I stay who I am, but like I'm always focusing on the next thing. And so the Women's Summit just so many light bulb moments that day, and it was because of the environment that Amy Hinote nurtures.
Well, I think if Amy wanted a single promotion for the Vacation Rental Women's Summit that will take place in Nashville in December of this year, then that is it. So there will be link to the summit in the show notes. So, you know, I'm encouraging, and I'm sure you are too, Lauren, anybody that's listening, male or female, to register for the Women's Summit. And it's going to be awesome this year. And of course, it leads straight into the DARM conference. So, you know, come for 4 days. Come for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe it's Friday as well. Come for the duration. I think I'm booked in right through Monday to Friday. So it's going to be pretty awesome again this year.
Yeah, and let's give Amy a round of applause for having them be back to back, because like thank God, you know, you don't have to be here and then hustle here. Like that's so awesome. She's classy move on her part for that. But yeah,
absolutely.
If you guys are seriously like, if you guys are into the idea of empowerment within vacation rentals, not some passive experience, but truly like empowerment of passion within vacation rentals, it's the Women's Summit. That's the one.
Lauren, your passion just shines. Your enthusiasm, you know, it's. I'm sure anybody listening to this is going away from it feeling a lot better than they were when they came in to listening to this. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a long time coming, and I keep saying, Lauren Madewell, I really got to get her on the show. And, I'm so glad we've had this opportunity. I can't wait to meet you face to face in November. That is going to be awesome.
And
I do believe that Amber's going to be headlining again. So that is something to look forward to. I saw her in Miami at the Book Direct show last November. And she did this. She appeared in these gold boots. And she strutted down onto the stage. And then, of course, there was the music as well that came after. And everybody's, this is the opening. And then everybody's up and dancing. And what a great way of starting a conference. So hopefully that's going to be reenacted. And I will see you there.
I'll see you at the Women's Summit.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Look forward to that hug.
I would not be missing that one. So thank you so much for joining. It's been such a pleasure having you with me.
Thanks for giving me a place to pour my heart out, Heather.